Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to deploy Fortinet's Managed IPS Rules directly into your AWS Network Firewall. Let's go ahead and dive right in. Fortinet is now officially a launch partner for third-party rules on AWS Network Firewall, delivering AI-driven intrusion prevention natively within AWS. This can be deployed in minutes via AWS Marketplace and integrates seamlessly with existing AWS workflows. This allows for automated protection with set and forget security with rules that are continuously updated by FortiGuard Labs, which eliminates the need for manual policy tuning. This also enables compliance and helps meet standards like PCI DSS with enterprise-grade inline protection. This also automatically scales with cloud workloads, requiring zero infrastructure management. And with the help of FortiGuard Labs, Fortinet's Managed IPS Rules leverage machine learning to identify and block new exploits, malware, and command and control activity in real time. And there's two prereqs that you need to know about before using Fortinet's Managed IPS Rules. First, when you create your AWS firewall policy, it is highly recommended that you set the rule evaluation order to strict. This ensures that you can prioritize the Fortinet rules before your standard allow all rules. If you use the default action order, then that can get a bit messy. And second, Fortinet rules are comprehensive, and AWS has a default limit of 30,000 stateful rules. If you do plan on using multiple Fortinet packs, then you can check your service quotas and request an increase if needed. Before we jump into the configuration, here's the topology I've built to show you the Managed IPS Rules in action. It's a straightforward single zone architecture, which I was able to reference from the AWS Network Firewall config guide. I have a firewall subnet where my firewall endpoint resides, and I have a web app server sitting behind the firewall, which I will use to simulate an attack and will be blocked by the Managed IPS rules once we add them to the security policy. And to verify that our firewall is working properly, I also enabled logging on our firewall, which will send all of the firewall logs to CloudWatch, which we can check later. Now that we've already gone over the details, let's go ahead and log into our AWS console and go to the VPC service. And since I already have an existing firewall policy, I'm going to go down to Network Firewall and click on Firewalls. Here, my firewall policy is called AWS NFW1. And here we take a look at the policy settings, and here we can see that the rule order is strict order, as mentioned previously. And if we scroll down, you can see here I have a stateful rule group that just allows HTTP traffic into the web server. And I did increase the capacity to the policy by 20,000 just so I could add more of the IPS rules from Fortinet. Now let's go ahead and attach those rules to our firewall. So we'll go to Firewall Policies and select the policy you want to edit. Scroll down to the stateful rule group section and click on the Actions dropdown and select Add Partner Managed Rule Groups. So here we have a list of all of the partner managed rules that we have. And if you scroll all the way down here, you'll find the Fortinet section. And as you can see here, I'm already subscribed to the packages. You can either subscribe here in this manage section, or you can also subscribe via the AWS Marketplace. So here you'll see a list of available packs like malware, botnet, or exploits. You'll select the ones based on the type of protection you want for your workloads. So read through these carefully and select the ones that relate to you the most. Since I do have a web server that needs protection, I'm going to select all of the Fortinet packages that will protect my web applications and servers. Like here you can see the web app strict order and web server strict order. So based on the ones I need, I'll select those and then scroll the way down and then click Add to Policy. Now that the Managed IPS rules have been added to our security policy that's attached to our firewall, since we are using strict ordering, we'll need to make sure that these Fortinet rules are at the top of our stateful rule group list. If they're placed below a generic allow rule, then the traffic might bypass the IPS inspection entirely. So make sure to use the priority editor to move them up. And that's it. That's how easy it is to deploy the Fortinet Managed IPS signatures on the AWS Network Firewall. Once deployed, it'll take a few moments for the firewall configuration to be synced up with the changes. But you can keep track of this by going to the firewall and then checking the configuration sync state. After a few refreshes, we can now see that our firewall is now in sync after the config changes, and our web app workloads are now protected and backed by FortiGuard AI-driven threat intelligence. Now let's test this by pretending I am a malicious actor and run a simple curl to generate test traffic. Here you can see that the connection was reset by peer, meaning that the firewall was able to block it based on a known signature from the Fortinet Managed IPS rule packages. And if we go on CloudWatch, we can see a log entry showing that this was blocked by the network firewall. And that's it. That's how simple it is to configure Fortinet Managed IPS rules and get enterprise-grade threat intelligence running natively on AWS. Thanks for watching.